Hi, and welcome to Ask Me Anything. So, Ask Me Anything is a time for anyone in my community to ask questions about what's going on for them, what they're feeling. Do we have any insights or guidance? Anything. That's why we say, Ask Me Anything. Today, I have a really interesting question. It says, take the experience of two extremes between positive and negative, where negativity was more ingrained and suppressed as a familiar pattern at the very earliest of my development times. Yet distress is activated both ways. So I think what she's trying to say is that she either lives in the state of overstimulation because she's in that positive energy, or understimulated because she's in the negativity. Now, if you come out of an environment where you were told no, 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 or where there was a lot of fear around you being who and what you wanted to be in life, what that does is it patterns you in so many levels. It patterns your belief about yourself. Like you start believing maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you don't deserve to have what it is that you want. It creates patterns around your self view. Like, who am I to think I'm this kind of person? And then most importantly, it disconnects us from our soul's purpose. Because when we're young, we're connected into our brilliance. And as that gets rejected in us or met with negativity, we begin to close that down. And we begin to act or behave or respond the way we think people around us need us or want us to respond. But what's really going on is you become the betrayer of yourself. You begin to betray who you are and what you are meant to do in this lifetime. And if that is you, you will spend a good amount of time in this lifetime reclaiming that back. I'll share a little bit about my own story because this is very much in alignment with who I was. So when I came in, I was very sensitive. I was very open. I could read energy. I could read people's minds. When I got older, I realized this wasn't normal. I just assumed up until a certain age, like 5 or 6, everyone thought this way. Everyone had experienced life this way. And then I realized, oh, this is not normal. And so slowly but surely, I started to look at what I perceived as a child, what normal was. And I started to close down my intuition, close down my sensitivities, disconnect from my knowing, and really operate on a very surface level, like operate on what I perceived at the time other people wanted. And other people were mainly my parents, or maybe sometimes my siblings. And as I grew up, I began to forget about who I was, which then in my teens and my 20s created challenges because I was living this duality. I was living based on what I believed everyone thought I should be. And yet deep down, I knew there was something more, but I lost touch of what that was. And so life never felt 100% complete for me. I never felt the confidence of knowing who I was. And it was only into my 20s when I began to get reconnected to those parts of me that I began to gain my confidence back, that I began to see what I gave up in order to fit in as a child, or in order to be, and I'm going to put it in quotes, normal, because what is normal? Everyone's so different. But as a child, I held a belief like, this is normal, this isn't. So I better stop this thing. If that was your journey, and I believe, Claire, it was probably your journey, because you wouldn't be asking this question if it wasn't. If that was your journey, the first thing to start to think about is, what did I give up that was unique to me? And how you know what you gave up is go back in time and think about, what did people tease you about? So people teased me about being too sensitive. People teased me about like knowing too much. I don't even know if they really knew what that meant at the time, like that I could read their minds. So first of all, go back to, what did people tease you about? And then what did you do about it? Most likely you probably shut that down. And so when we shut down these core parts of ourselves, we take on these, I'm going to call them personas. What's the persona that I think I should be living? So you come to your current life and you ask yourself that question: what is the persona I took on? And if I do away with that, and a persona is, what are the attributes and characteristics of how you present in the world? So if you decide to do away with that, then who are you? What are those thoughts that you have that you keep to yourself? Maybe even, how do you see yourself, but you keep it to yourself, like it feels unsafe to bring it forward? That's usually what you gave up about you. And the key thing is, that's usually where your gifts are and where your brilliance is, and why you came in to have the lifetime you were meant to have. And if this is your situation, Claire, I would say, and anyone else, it's a journey that you go on to regather, reclaim those parts of yourself that allows you to be who you were meant to be. So if I look at my life now, the work I do is all based in intuition. It's all based in my ability to read, sense, see, know others, to connect to universal energy. And those were all things that I shut down when I was younger, because those were weird. They weren't normal. And through my journey, I reclaimed them as time went on. So think about what you gave up. What was unique and different about you that you gave up? And are you ready to reclaim it for yourself? And if you're ready to reclaim it, I want to make you an offer. And the offer is, reach out and talk to one of our coaches, because they can help you with the process to reclaim you. The first thing, though, about this is that you have to want it. Because if you have a strong desire to want that unique part of you that you shut down, closed up, gave away, discounted, then that desire is going to help you help to propel you through any fear that you have in claiming it back in your life. And so this idea, I want to circle back around, Claire, to your question around negativity as being a pattern and positivity as also being a struggle. Like, both of them are equal struggles in your life. And I would say not to focus on those patterns for now, Go to what you gave up about you. What do you love? What was unique about you as a child? And then ask yourself the question, am I ready to reclaim this for myself? And if you are, then this is a great opportunity to get some support. And for anyone else listening to this, if you are ready to reclaim your uniqueness, and it could be your uniqueness around your voice, your uniqueness around your knowing, your uniqueness around your power, or your passion, or your insight, or your wisdom. Like, we all have so many unique parts of ourselves that were either misunderstood by others around us when we were younger. So we learned to disconnect from them. And what happens is, as we get older, soul is asking us to reconnect. And when we do, we feel all of this positivity. And then what happens is our mind gets fearful. Our mind gets fearful because it does not know how to be safe from this place, how to live from this place, how to trust it. So it does everything it can to sort of bring you back to what it knows, which then drops us out of that higher frequency and brings us to a lower frequency. And that's what feels so negative. When we are not operating from our highest light, from our highest frequency, life feels intense. We feel the negative patterns. And I'm going to be really realistic here. Clear, the first thing is recognizing that you're living in these two states. You're either super positive because you're connected to your light and your knowing and your wisdom, and then you disconnect and you have these negative patterns that were given to you or that you lived from when you were younger. And they don't clear up overnight. But what I can tell you is that every time you bump into them, the process of you moving through the negativity to get back to your light happens faster and faster and faster. So you don't stay stuck. And that is the message I'm going to leave you with today. Thank you so much. These were excellent questions, Clear. And I really hope that you're ready to reconnect to your light, because you're here and you're asking these questions. You're recognizing the patterns that help direct your life. And the thing is, you can't will your way through this, because just working on the mind stuff won't get you through it. You have to also work on that energy of what you carried, what you buried within you. So you have to free that up. And the combination of the mind and the energy makes movement, creates power, reconnects you on so many levels. So this work isn't for the faint of heart. The work is for people that are ready to reclaim themselves, reclaim their lives, reclaim their gifts, so they can make the contribution. And if you're feeling the call, it's because soul is nudging you to say, time to get going. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for Ask Me Anything. I cannot wait to connect with you next week. Take care.